Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
Episode 186 of Weather Weekly. Good to have you along as we are on the final days of the month of July. I am Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey from Wish TV in Indianapolis, Indiana. Good to be with you as we look ahead to this final days of July, heading into August. It is back to school for a lot of kiddos. This week and next week is kind of the first week. My kids don't go back until the middle of next week, but I know there's already been a couple of districts that went in last week. There is a large amount of school districts around central Indiana that will be having their first day of school during this week here. And I tell you, yes, on the school calendar, it says the end of summer, but we have a long way to go before we start getting into fall-like temperatures. We got some steamy days ahead. We're going to talk all about that in the week ahead. The forecast for July 29th, 2024. That's coming up next on Weather Week. This is the week ahead for July 29th, 2024. Let's go ahead and dive in. We'll start with Monday. Kind of after a wet start or end of the weekend on Sunday. We're going to have some scattered rain chances, we believe, here to kind of start things off for your Monday. I think it's going to be a lot like it was on Sunday. I think we're going to have a little bit of a lull in terms of precipitation early on. And then as we kind of progress through the day, we'll likely see scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of filling in. So right now I'm going to leave the morning relatively quiet. I don't want to completely shut down any rain chances. I do think there will be some opportunities. So we'll call it isolated in the morning. We'll have more of the scattered variety afternoon. And then I really think after dinner time on Monday, the 29th, we will have more of kind of a line. So I'm thinking kind of in as early as maybe the 4 o'clock window. I think that's on the early end. And through around 11 o'clock or midnight, we're going to be on the lookout for a line of storms that will kind of develop from the northwest and then developing southeast. There is a marginal risk or a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather as we go into the evening hours for Monday. All modes of severe weather are in play. Damaging winds, I think, are going to be the primary concern here, but can't rule out maybe the possibility for a quick spin up of a tornado. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Again, it's a level 1 out of 5. So it's a lower end threat, but just, if you have some outdoor interest, just kind of, keep an eye out on radar. Make sure you have your alerts set. If you have our Storm Track 8 weather app, make sure those alerts are on that you can get warned for any severe weather that would come in. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer because I do think it's not going to be like it was Sunday where, around lunchtime, it was pretty rainy and then we just never recovered. We stayed gloomy pretty much the entire day after that. And so our temperatures kind of struggled through the day. I think we're going to get a little bit of sunshine, which may end up kind of fueling the fire for some of our afternoon hours, and we'll have highs into the mid 80s. All right. Overnight, I think with the exception of maybe a stray shower or storm, I do think that we will likely be fairly quiet with mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be muggy. All right. Our dew points are going to be right around 70. So that's pretty rough. So an isolated thunderstorm, but I do think there'll be a lot of dry areas and dry time when you wake up Tuesday morning. Tuesday, there will be some opportunities for some isolated thunderstorms. I don't think we're going to have kind of the coverage, the scattered coverage that we had Sunday or what we expect for Monday. So we'll call it isolated thunderstorms. we're really going to dial up the heat. The humidity is going to be high, right around 70-degree dew points again, numbers near 90 degrees. And then we're also going to have maybe some little isolated showers possible late Tuesday night and lows near 70. Midweek, hottest part of the week, Wednesday and Thursday specifically. All right, so we're heading into the last day of July, Wednesday, just a chance for a thunderstorm. Right now, I'd call it, if you want to put like a percentages on it, excuse me, you're probably saying maybe about a 30 or 40%. We say that, we mean coverage wise. All right. So we cover central Indiana, about a 30% chance, 30% coverage for an isolated thunderstorm. Otherwise, it's going to be real hot. Low 90s. I'm going with a high of 90. Humidity is going to be high, so I think feels like temperatures will likely be closer to 100. I think the same thing applies on Thursday for the first day of August. So a pop-up thunderstorm, possibly. You may have a slightly better chance Thursday night. But I think a lot of the day on Thursday is just going to be really hot and humid with a mixture of sun and clouds, and highs again in the low 90s. Feels like temperatures will be closer to 100. Now, as we move to the end of the week, I think there will still be daily rain chances, but we're going to get some relief from kind of the intense heat and humidity. Friday, decent chance for some scattered storms. It's the opening day of the Indiana State Fair on Friday. At this point, I don't see it as a complete washout, but there will be some rain opportunities. Highs will be in the mid-80s. And then the same thing for the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Some scattered rain chances. I think Saturday may be the better of the 2 days. But both days, I think we'll have a lot of dry time if you are going to be heading out to the fairgrounds. And highs will be into the middle 80s. The humidity, although elevated, won't be quite as high as what we'll experience for the middle of this upcoming week. In terms of the rainfall amounts, at least the 7-day estimate from the Weather Prediction Center has much of the state between an inch to an inch and a half. In southern parts of the state, could be an inch and a half to 2 inches of rainfall. Maybe down around the Bedford area, maybe as far north as Bloomington, parts of Owen County, Greene County. Again, that's over the next 7 days. A lot of that is going to depend. Obviously, we're going to have widespread rain for Monday. We had some widespread rain Sunday. But everything after Monday, there's not going to be a lot of organization. You don't have a big cold front coming through, so you're not going to have kind of the widespread shield. A lot of it's just going to depend on location and if you get under some of these isolated thunderstorms that are going to fire up. Okay. And the only severe weather threat that we do have, again, is the lower end threat for Monday, where most of the state is under a marginal risk for severe weather. So there is some good news in that regard as well. All right. So that's a look ahead to the next 7 days. Coming up, we're going to give kind of a quick, we're not completely done with the month of July, but we'll let you know where we stand precip wise as we roll along for this end of the month. And we'll take a sneak peek at the month of August in terms of averages and things like that. That's coming up next here on Weather Weekly. All right, let's put the wraps on this podcast here. Quick numbers. Still a couple of days to go, right? But I'm going to give you kind of just a gist of where we're at for the month here in Indianapolis. This does factor in the Sunday rain, where we picked up just over a half an inch in Indianapolis. So for the month, 4.33. That actually now puts us on the plus side of about a quarter of an inch. Last year we were at 5 3/4. So we did a little bit better, but we're not bad. And we're still chipping away at that deficit that we started building since June 1st, 6.49. Since June 1st, we're down 2.5 inches. Last year at this time, 7.17. All right, so about a half an inch behind, a little more than that, about 3/4 of an inch behind last year's. For the year, 28.53, we're still on the plus side of just under an inch and a quarter for the year. Now, for the month of July, nothing real interesting. Now, again, this isn't going to factor in Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday's high temperature, okay? But the average temperature, so that's all the highs, the lows, and everything in between, 75.2 to date. That doesn't factor in Sunday's temperatures, by the way. But it does put us at 60th, all right, out of 154 years. So kind of on the lower end, and when I say 60th, coolest. So we're kind of on the cooler side, not the warmer side for that. Precip-wise, for the month, again, we mentioned the number, and then it's not factoring in actually I can do some math on the fly here, but it's going to put us somewhere in the range of So we were at 4.33. 4.33 puts us right around 56th, 57th. So really kind of, again, and that's for wettest. It is last year was obviously wetter. We had 6 inches of rainfall. We beat 2022, which was only 3.10. 21 was a pretty wet year at 6.34. And then we had kind of several years, 20, 19, and 18, that we didn't even make it to 5 inches. Some of them we didn't make it to 4 inches. So 2015 was the last big July rainfall that we had, 13.14. I remember that one, by the way. That was, that's the wettest July we ever had. And I remember, that was my first year at Wish TV, and I remember that it was just several days of that. We just had these crazy thunderstorms that just fired up and just camped out over the city. There was a lot of flooding and all that other stuff. So we'll have official numbers for you coming up. It doesn't look like we're going to be any like top 10 category or anything like that coming up here. Let's go ahead and look at the 8 to 14 day. Kind of a minor signal for above average temperatures, kind of put us in, it's leaning above 30 to 40% chance for above average temperatures. Same thing with precip over the 8 to 14 day stretch. That, by the way, those dates would be August 5th to the 11th, about a 30 to 40% leaning above chance for above average precipitation there. We also mentioned, I'll go ahead and bring it up again, the 1 month outlook that was issued last week, about a 50 to 60% chance, so likely above, for above average temperatures, and no strong signal either way for precipitation. So there you go, as we head into the month of August, which is the next time that you and I, at least on the podcast, we'll talk. We always love to hear your feedback. You can shoot me an email anytime, marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. Love to always hear your feedback. You can also reach out on social media. Marcus Bailey Weather is what you search on Facebook to find my page. And at sign Marcus Bailey for X and Instagram as well. You can get our forecast for free 24 hours a day on our website, wishtv.com/weather, and our free Storm Track 8 weather app. You can just go to your phone's app store and download that. You might have to search for Wish TV weather, not Storm Track 8 weather. And of course, while you're here, or before I mentioned that, you can also get my forecast Monday through Friday on the TV side on Wish TV's Daybreak starting at 4 a.m. locally in Indianapolis. While you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful week. If you're heading back to school, kiddos, this week, have a great school year. We'll talk to you next week, and God bless.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.